time you were on. Just opening up a stream to kind of wind down the night. Feeling sleepy, so I don't know how much longer. I don't know how long I'll go tonight. Maybe an hour or two. But let's check in on the world. The hurricane, category 4. Okay, let's see. Northwestern Florida. Crawfordville, Florida. The mouth of the Osceola River in the Big Bend area of Florida's Gulf Coast. And then it's moving up through northern Georgia and western North Carolina. Hurricane and flash flood warnings. We have several viewers, community members in that area, so I hope you're okay. We'll be thinking about you. I hope that you're taking precautions, and I hope we hear from you when it's all over. And then some more Israel stuff. All right. Oh, hey, Bex and Daniel Barry. Oh, from the hurricane? Like, was it like a person that should not have been out in the first place, or was it like a news crew? Because there's some of the few people that go out in hurricanes and the emergency crews. I watched the footage from the 2021 that hit my hometown. It was unbelievable. I'd never seen anything like it. I'd been through what I thought were a good amount of hurricanes, and this was a Category 5. And it like moved through and it flayed the entire city. It was leveled, flattened when it was over. Oh, so they were driving. Wow. Or riding. Bex, you're so wrong. Hey, Abe. What's going on? Let me see if I have any tweets. Oh my God, yes, I discovered a new person. Y'all, add this to the Kamala, Hillary, Tim Walz going after. Listen what all they want to do. Okay, I don't know who this person is. She's a Representative Stacey Plaskett. Is she Congress? House of Reps. Okay, I have a few videos of her. I haven't even watched them all. Let's take a look. See what this representative has to say. Come here.
What is the point of this subcommittee? Because it's necessary for the public and the media to hear, to try, and provide cover for the eradication of the Department of Justice and the FBI. We are having these hearings so that you become immune. You become inured to the notion of the removal of the FBI and DOJ.
Hang on, let me stop her right there, because she hasn't even gotten to the disturbing part. The purpose of this committee is to provide us information, but with a certain outcome in mind. They want us to have a certain particular experience with. So it's more about just providing information and educating the public. They're trying to manipulate or engineer the public into a certain response.
Are no longer there to serve as a check against white nationalism, great replacement theorists, Christian nationalists, white fragility, fascists, and the twice impeached convicted felon, former president and would-be dictator Donald Trump.
Look at that. That was, if you didn't hear her, that was the purpose of the FBI and the DOJ. Let's hear that one more time.
And DOJ. The removal of the FBI and DOJ, so that those agencies are no longer there to serve as a check against white nationalism, great replacement theorists, Christian nationalists, white fragility, fascists, and the twice impeached, convicted felon, former president and would-be dictator, Donald Trump. What is the point of this?
That is rhetoric, first of all. Second of all, Donald Trump. It sounds like some of that is just their role in protecting us from domestic terrorism. What the hell is white fragility? That sounds like something that could be used against anybody. And what is an individual running for president doing in all those categories? And is she redefining the purpose of the DOJ and the FBI? Where is this coming from? But wait, there's more. I'm actually a little reluctant to play this, but it was on MSNBC, so I guess I'm okay. It's more to kind of show you what's out there.
Having Trump not only have had the codes, but now having the classified information for Americans and being able to put that out and share it in his resort with anyone and everyone who comes through should be terrifying to all Americans, and he needs to be stopped.
Caught that? I'm not going to play it again. Y'all can rewind the stream. That was from a while back. That wasn't recent. I think that was people are digging up old footage of her now that she's made the viral. And then this is one more from this lady. And if Barnabas is out there, he might want to add
And Mr.
her
Musk,
to his roster.
since you think tweeting or Xing or whatever it is you call you do
You sound
on your
dumb.
platform about me is going to scare me to be quiet, you obviously don't know what I'm made of. Generations of individuals who have fought for me to have the ability to say what I want to say, to speak the truth. You forget that this is not pre-1990s apartheid South Africa, the country of your birth.
Did she just?
This is America. And there are more of us Americans that love our diversity, our rule of law.
Oh my God,
than
she
there
thes he's
are of
racist
you
and she's
who
tied
would
him
like
to
us all
apartheid.
sycophants to your ego. The
These people are deranged. This is I have some deranged leftists coming after me now. These people are just deranged. They're rabid, deranged lunatics. I don't know any nicer way to say it. Abe, yes, let's talk. I am never without a need for good mods. So that's the Twitter stuff that I have. It's the Karenocracy. She's like just one more brick in the Karenocracy. Let me see if there's any panel. I want to learn how to like panel hop. Oh, Speakeasy's on. He panel hops over here all the time. Maybe I could go panel hop over there. Oh, it just started. He's doing his intro. Let's see who else. Provo. Provo's been doing a decent stream tonight. Oh, he's panel hopping on Raging. What is it? Cherry Tomato, Raging Tomato, and she's doing something on Internet Trolls, or she was earlier. So that's a panel. That's about it. There's not a lot of people out tonight. All right, I don't know who this is. Get out of here. Yeah, for some reason I got your six. Oh, what does that mean? Got your six. Six man. On YouTube since '07? Because it only started in '05. That's like you're OG. This might be a slow night. It doesn't look like there's many people out there tonight. So I wanted to start one. Just to offer another one today. And yeah, but you know what? Just because you say it, how do I know it's true? And the only reason I say that, we've been watching The Mole in Discord, and that's what it's all about. Like how to know if you can really trust somebody. And paranoia all around. because some people will pretend. In fact, there was a term today that somebody introduced called friend trolling, where somebody pretends to be your friend, befriends you as part of a troll, and then they're coordinating with other people in the background, and you're like a pawn in their troll game. I'm pretty sure all that's happening here, and not necessarily here, but in the Panelverse. But this channel intersects with the Panelverse in places. And so I'm sure all that's happening. I'm sure I've been friend trolled, or other people have been friend trolled. That's another reason I'm trying to keep this space a way to filter out the healthy people that are not doing all that. And hopefully we catch a lot of the moles. But I still suspect a mole or two is going to slip in. Fortunately, I'm a mole hunter. It's one of my hobbies. I won a big mole game that they were playing online back in the aughts. So bring it on, moles, mole trolls, moles, trolls, and voles. It sounds like a game, but then all of this sounds like a game. And again, as a budding capitalist, I say games are fine as long as you find a way to make money off of it. I know gaming is a big market. If we could turn this into a game, imagine. False animators, yes. Yes, like they're moles. But what is the motivation? Like, is it, are they agents of some larger team that has larger designs, or is it like kids just fucking around and power testing? Is it more sinister? How paranoid should one be? And how do you assess? Are there tips to tease out who's legit? Yeah, hey Spike. Um, in other news, there is no other news. This is it. This is life in the Panelverse. It's nothing happens ever in reality. It's all simulated. Like you pull up a web page or Twitter or something, and you get the news. But nothing's ever happening different than this in our day-to-day lives. I think we have an election coming up, maybe, or something. Boredom, like, well, I did things out of boredom too. I think that drove a lot of my creativity growing up. But it wasn't I didn't like torture animals or rip the wings off of dragonflies or stuff like that. I did stuff that didn't interfere with other people's lives, or I tried to. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I'd like to do more of those myself. In fact, the offer's always out there. I'm just waiting for people to take me up on it. I would love to do some one-on-one conversations with people about specific topics, and then maybe do like a small panel after, or call-in model. But what like how do they pick who to hate? And what kind of info? Like, do they take this into real life? Is this like sadistic trolling? Like the sociopaths have a new playground now? Yeah, me too. I'm Cajun. Like, we always try to find a way to have a good time. Joie de vivre. It's wired into our cultural DNA, if not our actual genetic DNA. And so I would much rather fill my day with doing something. Now we're mischievous, and we'll play and prank and stuff, but not this kind of stuff. Not to the point of sadism, cruelty, violence. Oh yeah, Bex, let me put your channel. I uh I have not been promoting it because I wasn't sure if you were doing it anymore. Bex gives good stream. Check her out. And it's there's like a group, but in a way, it's like community building. It definitely builds a sort of community. Oh, that's just sad that's that's what they need to make their channel grow. They don't that, but then when I think about it, they probably couldn't do the types of show that we do, or they'd be doing it. That's why they have to troll. Oh my God! If you need a guest panelist or a case study, I'll be happy to participate. I've been socially media addicted since 1998. Well, 99 really. Like it was around Christmas of 98, so I guess I'll start it at 99. AOL, America Online. I was part of that America. And we were online 16 20 hours a day. Just like this. It's no different. That's why I can sit in a chair as long as I can and stare at a screen and socialize with pixels, people masquerading as pixels because I have so much experience. I have so many um man like work what is it? What do you call it? Man hours, work hours. There's another term for it. Put in from my AOL days. Oh, like if the trolls come here, I'm trying my best to keep it down. I'm counting on my mods. I noticed the numbers have been dropping and some of the subscribers, and I take that as a good sign that some of the troll activities, like it's like a storm moving on. Well, I'm probably coming close to meeting them, checking off those boxes. But I don't think again, unless it like gets criminal or violent or something like that, I don't necessarily think trolling should be illegal. Now there's like harassment, bullying, cyberbullying, that kind of stuff. But just the act of trolling itself, or playful trolling, or kind of the trolling you see the majority on here that's not malicious, I don't think any of that should be illegal. I would want to protect it all under free speech or free expression. I use free expression more than speech because I think, like, especially after Citizens United, if money is speech, then everything I do is like to express myself. Certainly, is going to qualify as speech. What kind of protections, like from online? Why just women? See that feeds that victim narrative. They're equal to men, but they're victims and need protecting at the same time. That's too much cognitive dissonance and double messaging for me. Women need to figure out what they need and want from society. Oh yeah, I don't mind that. And honestly, they should cancel. If people are paying 99 cents a month expecting one type of experience, and I am now curtailing that, and that's what they're paying for, they should cancel because I want them to get their money's worth. And if they're paying for the drama they're not getting, then it is better that they cancel. Not just feminism. Why do I associate it so much with feminism and the left? Yeah, I lose track after a while. And honestly, I don't look at my numbers, so I don't really have a good idea of what all that's doing. Hey, discussion, how you doing? But yes, well, since you brought it up, we do have memberships, 99 cents a month. It supports the channel. We're going to have additional membership tiers at some point. I'm just going to take my time to build them like I want them. And I want them to kind of emerge from what happens here anyway. And I think we have to get to a certain level of growth for that to start happening. So there eventually there'll be more membership options, but right now you get the badge. I have the option of custom emojis, which I've invited people to suggest or even send, and I can add. Uh, and you can buy memberships for other outliers and create new outliers, so that we're going to change the curve. We're going to redirect the curve, game the curve. All right, and oh, let's see if I have any other Twitter stuff. No, that's it. Just that lady, Stacy Plaskett. So when they come at like Marjorie Taylor Greene or all those people, just go point to this lady and get them to account for her. YouTube get like you mean like with across YouTube in general? Because my personal streaming window, according to the analytics, is like 9 in the morning to 9 at night. But then the hours outside of that are not that different either. And then the weekends are slightly, like I get a slight bump during the weekends. I'm not a numbers guy at all. Like even when I was driving the car, I would go by feel. I didn't like look. I didn't keep my eye on the number. I would like check in with it every now and then, but I would mostly. Does it feel like I'm going 55? And I usually was. Maybe that's the N in the MBTI. I'm more of an N than an S. No, Lil, you're not blocked. I can see you remembering to cancel your membership and reminding everybody else like you did earlier. Which uh, that's why I announced it tonight because of your tweet earlier. I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. People should be canceling if they're blocked. If they're here for the drama and it's not happening anymore, etc., yes, you should cancel. I want you to cancel because I want you to feel like you're getting the value from that 99 cent that you put into it. Oh, is it? Is it not? What's happening, Paul? Is it all of YouTube, or is it like some solar flare or cosmic phenomenon, or is it like a drama surge? I think it's release. It's like catharsis for people. Like I don't know how people grew up or what their outlets were or what their developmental track is, but I think for some people, they're playing catch up. Oh, I don't. Oh, you mean your other account? So this is your sock. I care about the members that come here and care about the community. It's mutual caring. I don't care about the members that come and disrupt and disrespect my request here and the minimal set of rules that I have. No personal attacks or accusations, personal accusations, personal attacks, malice, that kind of stuff. It's not hard to figure out. Put it this way: if it is hard to figure out, this is not your channel. Like you don't. This is not where you belong. Yeah, well, they're adults, and they have the responsibility to manage their stress reactions, as do I. And everyone has like different ways of coping. Oh, okay. Well, you said, oh, your member account. Do you mean like this same account used to be green and I blocked it, and now you came back anyway? I'm honored. Thank you. That actually means a lot. And if you stick around, like somebody may end up gifting you a membership. So, all right. Well, wow. Not even half an hour. I guess maybe I'll go like to the hour, and if no one shows up, I'll end it early. And then tomorrow's Friday, so Friday evening in the Panelverse is usually always interesting. It's good to take a break from the panel verse. Oh my God, Mel's talking about Bohemian Grove, Hollywood Satanist Week. Um, we might peek in on her, or is it ending? Oh, it's just beginning. Yeah, we might peek in on Mel in a second. But it's really good to take a break from YouTube for like just a day off or half a day off or something. So I might work those in periodically. I think that's in the long run that's going to help my ability to do this long term, mental health and work life balance wise. What's a Pender? Pender outlet. Is that Norwegian? Plaid wrap. That sounds like something Scottish, isn't it? Oh, well, you're in the sanctuary. Stay here where it's unsafe. A moving outlet. Oh, is it like Zoomies? Never heard of it. I wasn't a skater. I was a groupie. Like I hung out with this because I couldn't actually skate myself. I didn't have the coordination, but I had crushes on a lot of the skater guys because that was some of the I guess the male energy of my generation were the skaters. At one time, you had like the motorcycle gangs, the punks. In my part of the country, it was like the cowboys, the macho cowboy energy. But in my subculture, it was the skaters that had that like I don't know, that just unrestrained fire to them. And so I hung out a lot in that culture, and a lot of my music came from there. But I'd never heard of Pender. But that's before skating was fashion too, because it was all the kids that didn't care about this. It was all the slackers and the kind of the dropouts, the counterculture, the disaffected kids that didn't give a shit about labels or fashion. So there wasn't really like skater brands. I know they would wear Converse, and there was that other low cut shoe. Maybe it was Vans at the time, maybe something else. And then the baggy pants came in. But it was mostly just like skater shorts and band t-shirts or political t-shirts. We watched the Dinosaur Jr. documentary the other day, and Jay Mascis has a new album out. In fact, I was listening to Dinosaur this afternoon. They were like kind of Sonic Youth's protege, and they influenced each other. So I kind of tend to listen to them in pairs, along with Swans and Pixies. Same bands Kurt Cobain was into, coincidentally. Yeah. And I was like mid to late 80s, early 90s, and then kind of moved out of it by then. I guess because my generation of kids kind of started growing up and entering the workforce. Oh, cool. Cool. Well, glad you could take a break here. And I hope you rest well. Spike. Oh my God, I would help with that, or even a panel dance if you wanted to. I think more panel dance. The only thing that keeps me from doing them because we did them. We used to do them with Zoom, but that's where you could use regular music because it's not broadcast, so you don't have to worry about copyright. Or we could do like a private panel dance that we don't broadcast. But the only thing that keeps me doing is really like finding music that I'm not going to be paranoid about copyright, and maybe getting some lighting. Wow. There's a it's a couple of movies. The Dog Boys. In was it California, Venice Beach, that area, and they would skate. It started with the surfer movement, and then like the next generation came along and started doing it with skateboards in the swimming pools, and a lot of famous skaters came out of that subculture, and they have like a fictionalized version, I think, but they have a documentary. think it's called. Let me look it up. It's really good. It's one of my favorite skate documentaries. In fact, I might watch it. Dogtown and Z Boys. Stacy Peralta. Yeah, that's a good doc. Dang, you are talking about the vintage stuff from back in the day? What? What? Oh, I didn't know you were in Seattle either. Um, I think I remember him. He was the Asian. I was gonna say the Japanese kid. Because there's another interesting part is the surfing culture that was the analog to it in the previous generation, and it was kind of that free and rebellious. And I'll tell you where else skater culture made its way into was slacker. The slacker subculture and the skater subculture very much intersected. So it was all one ethos. It was all that kind of like I guess what the '60s were, but without the revolutionary fervor. It was more individual freedom, not social freedom for different groups. It was like you freeing yourself from the bullshit and doing your own thing at your own pace in your own way, according to your own rules, which may not ever lead anywhere at all, and often didn't. But at least you were more true to yourself. Maybe at least that's what it felt like, and we told ourselves. Domino's Air. That's Vegas. I don't remember but that's the Vegas area code. Oh no no no! I'm thinking of yeah, that's Seattle. Sorry, I got it confused with the other city I lived in. Vegas is 702. I don't remember the 206 Domino's because they have Zoomies up here too. The big Zoomies headquarters. All right, let's see. Mel is here. Let me go hail Satan on her channel. Uh, we'll peek in on Mel when she gets her panel started. There we go. What year was that? Like decade was that? I may not have been around. I got here at the end of '09, so like 2010. I was around for the 2010s and beyond, all the woke stuff. I was around. I was living in Seattle in the most woke decade of history, and so maybe I would have had a different experience otherwise. Probably not. Yeah, and in fact, like when I first got here, I lived not very far from the Crocodile. I was like right on the edge of Belltown, and you could still see some of the old grunge like uh spot, like all the grunge history. They even had grunge tours you could take. And as I lived there, like that, it seemed like at some point it seemed impossible to imagine that grunge had ever happened in a city like Seattle because the culture had changed so much from like any kind of rock culture at all, much less the grunge culture, that I had to pinch myself to like how could a thing like grunge even start in this town, a town like Seattle, like it is now. And there's almost no trace of grunge anymore. It's a historical. What was it? To me, it was like the tail end. It was like it was the end. Grunge was the last splash. Yes, that was intended. Yeah, that's kind of, you know what? Thank you, Jeremy. Yes. It was one subculture transitioning into another. It was the Gen Xers transitioning to the nerds, because I was living in San Francisco in '98 in Soma, which was the big leather district, and it had all the like bohemian culture of San Francisco, and that's when it was being gentrified, and the tech bros were coming in. So like the whole neighborhood was like half tech bro, and half like gay, leather, LGBT, like all those extreme subcultures coexisting in the same neighborhood, and I could almost see the cultural line forming then. And that was '98. So like give it 10 years, fast forward. Cuz I remember when I first got to Seattle, like everybody, it was the anti-California. There was a big anti-California sentiment still, and it was a joke about people from California. Oh, are you from California? California, because they had come and changed the culture so much with the tech bros. It's that Silicon Valley tech culture, and this used to be more of a working class lumberjack type culture, and that's where you got your grunge and the more Gen X style. Gen X really was a working class culture, more or less. It wasn't really a big corporate. Like they had the yuppies, but the yuppies were not. They were part of the Gen X generation, but they were not what I would call culturally Gen X. Yeah, '98 was that's the year I left Louisiana and packed my car and headed off to Hollywood. I moved to California. That was like the dream of every slacker in my generation, was to get to New York or California, like one of the cultural meccas, because we didn't have the internet. Like you had to go find everyone in person, and they were all in the big cities. And it was COVID in 2020 that taught me that I didn't need the cities anymore, and I am not the city person that I thought I was. I'm much more of a smaller city, working class town, closer to nature, outdoors type of person. You think so? Well, you do have Microsoft, Amazon. My ex, the guy I moved up here for, worked for Microsoft, and he was like high up in the management structure. And so I got a taste of that corporate. And one thing I noticed about the culture here in Seattle is they copy Microsoft. Microsoft is like the parent Borg. And however Microsoft does things, the other cultures, I mean, the other agencies, workplaces, organizations, even the state agencies take on that same bureaucrat. It's very technocratic, dystopian. You are a cog in a machine. Do not try to interface with the machine in any kind of human way. Just, there's nothing human in this town. They're like, there's just robots. There's no warmth. They mask their emotions. Like they have a horror of letting the slightest bit of genuine emotion shine through. Oh, look. Oh, well, I'm in a Boeing town, and I don't even. That's how out of touch I am with my immediate environment. I didn't even hear about this. I know something's going on with Boeing and the astronauts on the space station, and they need Elon to come in and do something. Boeing machinists on strike have historic opportunity. Strike by Boeing factory workers. Yeah, I had no idea that Boeing was striking. Where is this happening? Is it like company wide? Mostly factories in the Puget Sound area of Washington. That's where I am. Yeah, this is probably going on like outside my window right now. I have no clue. Their auras. They wear it in their aura. Very, I'd say dark gray, like steel gray. I probably wore more black than. I mean, you do have your goths, but even the goths now stand out as kind of like cartoon. Like they even seem cosplay now. Just kind of like when you see hippies, like old people with long gray hair and tie-dyed shirts. You're like, oh, they look like characters out of the '60s. The goth people up here look like characters out of the '80s and '90s. They have like the anime people too, and the puppy people, and the furry people, the drag people, the fairy people, the Satan people. They have everything up here. All the freaks. Well, I will maybe. Hey, maybe I can do like a man on the street thing and stream some of it. If they're doing a protest, dude, thank you. Let me see what's going on. This is a real life story right in my backyard. Shows no signs of ending. Good. That gives me time to get to it. Um, Boeing machinists begin strike, and that was September 13th. Take to the streets outside the Everett plant. That's what I'm looking for. All right, where is the Everett plant? Yeah. Oh my God. Hang on. I feel like I could show this. Look, they're standing outside. Remember we did with Talcott and they were doing the peace rally? I could go talk to these people. The Boeing machinist. Wow. I'm excited. I mean, not. I'm excited to have something to do. Not excited that this is happening. Who's Mad Child? I'm so out of touch. Oh, did Mr. B just get a membership? I didn't see anything come in. If you did, I do appreciate it. I know Justice has been a big supporter. And yes, Mr. B, glad to have you as a member. You seem like one of the cool ones. Jeremy, I have the opposite experience. These people are so fucking boring. Like they have it's like interacting with kids. They have the social skills of toddlers. They're like deer in headlights. They do, and I will tell you where I'm at is a lot better. One reason I moved here, I had been in Seattle and I lived in the city core. I wasn't in the suburbs. I had been there for over a decade, and I met y'all. Get this, I met my roommate from YouTube when I did my first channel. He was one of the people that would show up in the comments, and he was a guest on the panel a few times and joined the Discord and started playing in our D&D game. And one night it came up that they had a roommate moving out, and I'm like, oh, I just happened to be looking for a room. And so we met in person. I looked at the room, and I visited the town I'm in for the first time. And it's like about an hour from Seattle. And we were walking around, and he was showing me the town. And total strangers were like walking toward us on the sidewalk, and they smiled and they said hello. And I would almost stroke out every. I was so after over 10 years in Seattle. I had forgot that humans did that. I forgot that people saw another human on the street and smiled and said hello. Because in Seattle, if they look at you at all, they glare at you. They give you stink eye. If you're walking toward them on the sidewalk, they play chicken with you. Like, I'm not kidding. They do not swerve. Like, it's like which one is going to be the first one to swerve. And then that makes you not want to swerve. They're so passive aggressive. The hostility toward humanity that I get from that city. Um, and so one of the reasons I moved here is because it felt so normal. I'm like, oh my God, a place where people, and this was like the year after COVID. So people were kind of coming back out again and interacting. And I'm like, I want to exit COVID in a place where people seem normal. And so this is my chance. If this is one of those places. And so I left Seattle and came here. And my mental health just elevated instantly. It was like a dark cloud just lifting. And here, when you go to the grocery store, they chat with you. They do not try to chat with the cashier in Seattle. She will press her panic button, or she'll get confused. Like she won't even know how to respond. If you say hello, how's your day? If anything more complicated than that, are you enjoying the weather? Are you getting out this weekend? They'll freeze and they'll panic while they try to figure out what answer you want for to your question. Let's see. Always claim. It's a performative caring. It's the virtue signaling social justice type of caring, and they couldn't like tell you one thing about the person they care about. They're props. They care about people as props. It's a class signaling game among themselves, and the people they care about are like pawns that they play it with. See, I miss that so much. I need that. I'm supposed to go home this year, so maybe I'll get a dose of it again. Oh wow, that's yeah, I remember that too. Cause the vaxing and the masking became everything's a virtue signal here. That became a virtue signal too. And so some places kept the vax and mask requirements longer than others because it catered to a certain crowd. That was like a signal too. Yeah. But yeah, these people that you say care about, this is the ones that tore up Seattle during 2020 and created the Chaz. So that's their caring for you, which got taken over by a warlord. So there's you caring for humanity. And then Macklemore, which is the big local rapper up here, I just saw he was in the news for saying like "fuck America" at some speech or rally. So he's all leftist hate America thing. You know, we've been watching The Mole in Discord, and it's that show where there's like 10 people trying to win money, and they send them on missions, and one of the players is trying to sabotage the mission and stop them from winning as much money as they could. And I was thinking about like America is like that. We're all on the same mission, and that is to create this country and run it and keep it going in a way that works for as many of us as possible. And there's moles out there trying to sabotage that mission. It's the hate America crowd. It's the don't trust your government crowd. It's the don't trust each other crowd. It's the liberalism doesn't work anymore. Like those are moles trying to sow disinformation to keep you off of your mission to successfully keep this amazing country that every time this conversation comes up, not one person can name an alternative country they want to be in, and they all agree very quickly, yes, this is amazing, but here's all the things you should hate about it. I think that's mole work. Wait, what? Damn. That's another thing, and this is my last rant about Seattle. Then I think I'll wrap it up. There are no daddies here. In fact, yo, I'm gonna show this one day. I was in there's a leather bar here, and they did a promo video. They were gonna have Daddy Night, and they advertised it like weeks in advance. They were importing daddies from San Diego, and they were gonna have all the daddies come up to Seattle at this gay bar because there's no daddies here. And then so all the gay bars came out that night, and there were like these 7 or 8 daddies up from San Diego, and there were like 100 gays in the bar for these 7 or 8 daddies. And they did some promo for this night, and one of them was a video, and they did a call for like leather people that wanted to be in a video. I'm gonna dig it up one day and play it. Remind me. And I was in it, and it's like me. I think I had a harness or a leather cap or something. It's like a pile of leather bars, and we're all in a pile, like rubbing on each other and being sexy for the camera. And there's like this leather cage background as part of the leather bar. And I was in that promotion video, trying to get these daddies up here to Seattle because there are none None here. I have never been in a less masculine state in my life. You could feel it in the air. There's like no trucks, no loud noise, nobody like hoops and hollers. Like it's just so muted here, both auditorily and energetically. There's just not a lot of like Chad energy at all. It's palpably missing. Sustainable human. No, but I'm gonna check it out right now. Oh, and I think Mel might be paneling. In fact, I might send all of you over to Mel's. I'm I'm subscribed for some reason. Let me get a glimpse of him. Yeah, he's on my list. I guess he hasn't put out anything recently. 1 month ago. But yeah, I do follow him. Wait, what? Hang on. Oh, that's another thing I've been wanting to do up here is hike. I came up here partly to hike and camp, and I can't find anybody to do it with because I'm such a social misfit here. Yeah, here I'll drop his link. Um, Sustainable human. Is he up here in Seattle? Because if we get enough people, we could start a Seattle chapter, and I think we might get a main chapter going. And if we have enough people somewhere else, we can start some regional chapters. Yeah, I went to the Ho the first year I was here. I really liked it. It had a peacefulness to it, and another testament to the power of nature. My ex and I we weren't fighting, but we were entering the stage where couples would be fighting, and it was tense, and it was like we drove there, so it was like hours and hours in the car. And once I got to the Ho, I was fine. Like I could wander off by myself. I didn't need him around. I could do my own thing, and it was very peaceful. And then we got back in the car, the tension started again. So it really, whatever was going on relationship wise, the Ho dispelled all of that, or none of that was relevant once we got to the Ho. For those that don't know what the Ho is, it's HOH. It's a actual rainforest. I think it's one of the. Is it the only? Let's see. Here on the Olympic Peninsula. It's a temperate rainforest. One of the largest and wettest temperate rainforests in the U.S. I'll show a few images. It's really quite something. Um, Very mossy. This is the Ho rainforest. And there's trails you can wander. I have a picture of me. Maybe I can show it one day. There's a big tree with a hollow in its trunk. It's like a cave, and you can like crawl in it and take pictures from it. It's really cool. It's like something out of Tolkien. All right, here I'm gonna put Mel's link. It's Hollywood Satanist Week, and she's talking about Bohemian Grove. I know that's a topic of interest. It's even come up here today. Trucks, holler, and chat. Oh, no, that's all part of it. That's all part of it. It's I guess positive masculinity is a good way of saying it. And then in the male world, there's like that male hierarchy of men helping to develop other men, and fatherhood and mentorship and um, military. You see it, stuff like that. And so, and in the gay world, there used to be the leather traditions, which actually I used to. When I was part of the leather community, I was like the rebel that was mocking all of the old guard traditions and saying that you don't need any of that. There's no one right way to do leather. And I would get in a fight with all the old leather daddies that were trying to keep certain traditions alive. And now, if I had to go back, I'd probably be. I mean, that's gonna be me. I basically am them now, trying to keep our Western intellectual and cultural traditions alive, and our gay leather ones, which are non-existent. Those are gone. All right, there's Mel's link. Let's see who's on. I don't know if she has. I can't see the names, but they look like interesting people. I may even head over there myself and hang out in the comments. Mark Dice. Let me check him out. Or is it Dice? Mark Dice, independent media analyst. You know what? I'm going to follow him. Joe Rogan killed a triceratops. He's kind of cute. Here, I'll put Mark Dice's channel too. I'm all about promoting cool channels. I think that's all part of building a community, growing a community. If the right communities, if you find enough communities with some core value or set of core values, and you can cross-pollinate between those communities, you can amplify every one of those communities and increase their growth. What is WN? White nationalism? Mr. Sabotage. I wonder who this is. Hello. Welcome. I was actually just wrapping up. I think I'll go about 3 more minutes and wind it down. I wasn't going to do a long stream anyway. I was kind of sleepy tonight, and I might if I don't give myself some breaks, I'm going to do this 7 days a week, at least 8 hours a day, and that's way more than 40 hours a week. And so I need to start building some healthy breaks into this. And I might take tomorrow. I can't predict. It all depends on where I'm at on any given day. All right, here's Mark's. Oh, white men. Okay. Or just men in general, because black men are getting it too. I forgot what the like somebody said that statistic the other day of the I think it was prison about white men and black women, but it didn't apply to black men. I forgot what it was. I won't try to recreate it. I find conservatives are like the new counterculture. They are like what the left used to be. There were all the people that have their own way of doing things and own way of thinking are fighting themselves because it's the right and the conservatives now that are supporting that, and it used to be the left. So this is a good thing. It gives me hope that there's still a space for that, and I'm glad there's at least one party left to take us in. Oh, okay. Well, I might not wrap up just yet, but I still think I won't go too long. Is that you for real? For real? For
That's
real?
me. How you doing, Jeff?
What's up?
Hey, I just had to get in here. I know you're kind of getting ready to wind it down here, but yeah, Mark Dice. I remember when that guy first started out, and he started to kind of troll some of the media heavyweights at the time, like Bill O'Reilly, Sean Hannity on their radio shows, things like
Oh,
that. And what he was unraveling was that a lot of these heavyweight media people were people that were not necessarily members of that Bohemian Grove, but they would get routine invites to go there and do like presentations and things like that. So it's interesting the history of all of that and where that Mark Dice guy falls into play with it, and kind of his role and putting out to the world more on it. I remember it was the controversial guy Alex Jones that snuck in to
yeah,
Bohemian
we've
Grove.
met
Do you
him.
remember that?
Yeah, we were talking about today.
Yeah. So I missed that part. And there's
Yeah,
that
Cap
old.
Gun was Alex Jones was here on my panel today. We were talking about it.
All right. So yeah, it's he, and that would be correct. Then what you guys are talking about, it's he had a little a tiny hidden little like pocket camera or something on him, and he was able to get right on in there. And it's interesting place and how it's its roots and history started. It was like an arts or something club or society, and then it kind of evolved into what it is today. And I guess there's like a 15-year waiting list or something if you're one of the elitists to try to get in there. Of course,
I'm
just, I
sure
say,
they have a way of getting the people they want in when they need them.
yes. Oh, I'm for sure of that. But yeah, a lot of the global powers go there and all of that and hang out. So I mean, it's not quite like the G20 summit per se, but I'd say it's pretty darn close when you get the world champions all out there at the same time hanging out.
Is that what makes people nervous? You have a bunch of powerful people with money all in one place talking, and
Yes,
people are
and
nervous that they're
it's
going to be making plans for other people and actually have the power and ability to carry out those plans.
yeah, and it's just the fact that they go out of their way to keep it stealthy and secret.
But
I
this
understand
doesn't
the
seem
need.
they're publicly like dancing in
Mhm.
front of a giant owl. Like I think if they were really up to something, none of us would even know. They would not be this
Well, yeah, there's
public
more.
about it. This is
Yeah, I mean, there's more to it than that. That's just what we see or have known that's leaked out of there. But it has very, very intense layers of security out there now, and I think that's
yeah.
kind of
Rich people
what.
always have that.
Yeah, and it's obvious that you can get why you want crazy people kept out of there, especially when you have people that are the social clout,
Yeah, I
very
wouldn't want Alex Jones in
wealthy.
anything I'm doing. Even a
Yeah,
barbecue.
right. Well, he's so well known now that you could just look at his. You could spot him in a audience of a million people, literally. But at that time, he wasn't like as known, and he was able to just kind of stealthily get in there like he did. But it kind of makes you how many other people have been able to do that. But anyways, I think it's any kind of a club like the Masons, Master Masons, and all of that, the Shriners. People, it intrigues people. The secrecy of it.
It
We
seems
talk
like it
about.
scares people, like it triggers some primal fear.
Well, I don't know. If nothing else, just curiosity. But I think part of that too, particularly when you're talking about black ops and government, and what the government's doing, where it's developing technologies for defense, military stuff, like Area 51 kind of jazz,
Oh
or
yeah, I'm sure the
whatever.
military's developing all kind of advanced technology that we're not going to know about. But I trust
Yeah,
my
well,
government.
we'll know about it in about 50, 60 years from now, right?
Yeah,
When
y'all
it comes
will.
out. But you know what I mean? There's this people don't like being left out in the dark. And I can relate to that. I mean, some of
I wonder if that's why I think they missed a basic civics education because no
Mhm.
nation can run without some kind of secrecy. So just being part of any modern government, they're not going to let you in on all their state secrets just because you're a citizen of their country. So that the expectation that you're not going to be left in the dark, I don't know where that came from. Like seventh grade civics class would have dispelled that for most people that I know.
Well, quite possibly so, but the government is sort of a need to know basis. It's very
Yeah.
compartmentalized.
And if that
It
makes people suspicious, that I'd
Mhm.
say that's with them. That's a them thing.
I mean,
Because
it's could
companies, employers, no
Mhm. You
workplace
do.
gives entry level employees all the secrets to the
No,
company, and they somehow still manage to work there enough to trust it.
even high ups. But let me give you example. Let me give you an example here. And unfortunately, it involves a tragedy. But Stephen Paddock, you know who he is? Stephen Paddock.
Nope,
That's the
no
Vegas
clue.
sniper for the Mandalay
Oh,
Bay.
yeah.
That guy. Well, did you know that he worked at Area 51?
No, did not know. Does not mean
He
anything
did.
to me.
He was some kind of management. He did some kind of auditing or something there with whatever.
What's the
So
conspiracy that there was something
no, he really
UFO
was a
related
government
about the?
worker.
I'm not denying that. What's the
Yeah.
where conspiracy are people leading, like
Well,
using
there's not
that
really
to lead up to?
conspiracy. What happened on that
Because they always
fateful?
start with, "Hey, you know this thing? Well, did you know this thing? And
Yeah.
did you know this thing?" And then they start connecting little
Well,
cherry picked facts. So I'm just trying
right.
to like cut through all that, and get to the
Well, let
plot,
me
the
theorize.
punchline.
This won't. Yeah, this won't take long. Let me theorize for that for you and sum it up pretty quick. So before he went and did what he did, he smashed out the windows on the other side of that studio um, hotel room that he was in the Monterey Bay, it facing towards the McCarran International Airport, and he started opening fire on the fuel tanks at the Janet Terminal. You know what the Janet Terminal is?
Is it one of the terminals at the McCarran Airport?
Yes, sir, it is. But it's a restricted terminal for the Area 51 employees. It's a government terminal where they go wait to get on their planes and fly out there.
So
So
what's like? What was he up to? What's the theory?
it's there's two theories on this one with him, and this is kind of a true crime discussion. Anything else? The first, and it could be a combination of both. The first is he was disgruntled. He was disgruntled as a former government worker because the most hostile work environments, the most
That's believable.
the most complaints that go out there with what do you call it? Unfair treatment and hostility, and retaliation, work retaliation, and all that comes from government jobs, right? It does. So based on that, I mean, that's kind of broad, macro level, but I realize this. But Paddock had targeted that terminal first before he turned on the concert goers next. We know that for a fact. So interesting is he wasn't able to rupture those fuel tanks. Thank God for that. He gave up his mission there. That's when he turned on the concert goers next. So, and the other theorem with him is, as a high stakes gambler, which he was, that he had lost so many millions of dollars of his fortune, he just snapped.
Oh yeah,
And
that
that's why he
happens a
did what
lot
he did.
too in
What's that?
Vegas. That happens in Vegas a lot.
Yeah, oh sure it does. But you're talking about a guy who owned like multiple homes, had a
But both
private
both of
jet.
that makes sense. He went postal on his employer, and he had
Yes,
gambling laws. So it's like an individual psychology. None of it seems connected to anything shadowy or sinister or conspiratorial. He's just
not
a
really.
guy that lost it.
Right. And unfortunately, people fell victim to his pitfalls of life, which we all go through our own little crises at times, but we just don't go to that extreme. Thank God for that. But I'm just simply saying this is and he owned a full arsenal of weaponry. I mean, he had more guns stashed away in his house before that he didn't even bring with him to that hotel. So he was. I mean, here was no question. This guy was geared. This guy was ready for urban combat, but sniper style, which is exactly what he did.
And this was
So,
before like the internet is now, with all the
well, I mean,
conspiratards. I mean, I guess he was
true.
getting it from somewhere.
You're talking about like radicalizing online and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Well, no, what he actually had done, he was really intellectual. He did use the internet to research trajectory paths, like the wind speeds, weather conditions. He had written down some math formulas, and that was found on a note when the SWAT team breached in there, and he ultimately ended his own life before they came in there and stormed the room. That was after an armed guard had found the room, and I think he got wounded and stuff. The guard did, but he survived. But anyways, the conspiracy theory on that was when the SWAT team had broken in and they had the cops and they had their body cams on, there was some handwritten notes on a little table next to him by the window. And people had speculated that those notes were like him leaving the reasons why he did what he did. But it was concluded, of course, that there was nothing on there but some math formulas on trajectory, velocity of shooting, using those types of rifles and calibers, and you be the odds of hitting your targets and stuff like that. And that's what was on those notes, according to the law enforcement sources. So that would be a conspiracy theory that because it's one of these cases that is like many of them out there. We strive to find a motive. Why did this guy do what he did? And we really, to this day, and if you've read I've read the after action report on this whole thing as part of a college. I got a bachelor's degree in emergency management. So I remember, just kind of studying that a little bit. Then that was even years post college, but just, learning, researching on my own. And the answer is there is no conclusion on that event. It's theorized, those two things that I outlined. And the first one that I gave you is one the government would rather you not know.
Well, how do you know what the government wants me to know? Like when people say that, they
Mhm.
talk like the government that's a single entity,
Right.
and they're deliberately trying to block me from some kind of information that's already out there.
Well,
But they
there
just
was,
don't want me to know
yeah.
that it's out. It's like, so what don't they want me to know?
They wouldn't. It's a black eye for them. In other words, if in fact his motive was to target that terminal, which is obviously what he did, because the first reports
Well, I
of
thought we
anything
don't
going
know
on,
his motive. You just gave two very reasonable motives.
yes,
I'm okay
they're
with either
reasonable.
of those. I don't have to like torture my brain to come up with a
Correct.
third.
Well, they're reasonable, but not absolute.
No,
So,
but no motive is going to be absolute about a dead person that you don't have access
right,
to.
unless they
their
leave,
thoughts.
unless they leave something behind.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that it's something that's been studied heavily, and still kind of is to this day, because his father, was at one time on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list because he was a bank robber. That would be like in the 60s. So it's a very dysfunctional. What family isn't dysfunctional? But this is an incredibly dysfunctional family.
So it's just like a fascination with the macabre.
Kind
that
of,
people
sort of.
have.
Kind of. You might. That's a great way. That's a great analogy of it. But I guess it's yeah. So the reason I said the government would rather not know, there was only like one article that I remember coming out from a credible news source about him targeting that terminal. And that article I can't find it in Internet Archives, but I did download a copy of it. And it just didn't get a lot of media attention.
Well, let's see. It should be easy to find.
Yeah, you could try. You'd have to look up like Stephen Paddock targets Janet Terminal, Vegas sniper kind of thing, and see if you can try to find it. It very well may be archived, but it's going to be difficult to find. So, and that was an interesting read.
But if it's fact, like because you said it's just established fact, it seemed like it'd be very easy. Like you shouldn't have to hunt for the fact that he also shot at this terminal.
Yeah, you can find, I think, this information in the after action report, because I think to major incident like this, there's going to be a law enforcement after action report done.
Like even Wikipedia would include that in the account. If he first shot at the planes, they would not leave that out. That seems like a significant detail.
True. But being college bound myself, I'm just so accustomed to avoiding Wikipedia at all costs because it's it's all unconfirmed data.
Right, but just the fact that it's not in the basic public narrative, which Wikipedia is kind of the standard for.
Right.
It makes me skeptical of it as information. Like when information's that hard to prove, there's something there's something fishy about the story. Because if he shot at this plane, then it's just there's going to be like 5 or 6 major news stations that are going to include that detail.
You're going to want to look up the after action report, download it, and then it's in that report. It's in the report.
Why do we? If he shot at a terminal, why do we have to go dig it out of a report?
It's just not easy to find in the archives of Google.
But journalism would have included in their report of what happened. Like, here's the account of the Vegas shooting. Yeah. He got to the hotel. He checked in the room. He went upstairs. He opened a window. He shot at a terminal. Then he went and shot at these festivals from the other window. Like, they would not just skip that major detail. So the fact that nobody mentioned it has me very suspicious that it's as established a fact as...
Yeah, Jeff, if you look up pictures of where he busted out the windows, you'll see he
I
actually
just want to
did.
see some official
Yeah,
source where people
right,
acknowledge that he shot at a terminal. Because I'm
right,
already my conspiracy alarms are already going off.
correct. So, I also would, yeah, I can give you the link.
Yeah.
I'll have to go find it to the after action report, which is very lengthy. And the earliest reports of what was going on came from the security that worked at that terminal. So there's armed guards there, obviously, that are keeping people out of there and all that. But they're the earliest reports of some stuff. The shots going off was when the fuel tanks were getting hit.
Yeah, it seems like that would have made its way into the record.
It kind of did, and then it's just like archived 9/11 stuff. It's some of that stuff's very hard to find now. Whereas 20 something years ago, it was right
I
there.
just with this in this age of internet and
Hmm.
crowdsourcing and citizen journalists, I just don't. It seems easier to find. Like
Right. I mean, you're talking about something that happened in
it
20,
would
was
be
it
even more
17?
amplified.
Yeah, it happened in like 2017. I think the reason that wouldn't be amplified is there was no one injured from when he did that. That was only when he turned on those concert goers next.
But it just shouldn't
So
be that hard to find. A detail that significant should not
yeah,
be that hard to find. So there's something fishy going on here.
yeah. I'll do some digging, see what I can find for you, and I'll drop it in like your Discord,
Okay, yeah, that
and
works.
then you can review it. And I can look at. I actually have the after action report. I can try to dig it out of there. So it's a digital copy, and I can look for keywords. But this is all stuff that I was always into studying and learning about. I've always been involved in disaster management and all kinds of stuff. Even volunteered in it.
Okay,
But
here's something from Fox News.
mhm,
Las Vegas shooter intentionally fired at Las Vegas airport fuel tank. So that's what I'm
there
saying.
you
Like
go.
this is
There
this
you
is
go.
this is from Nashville. The Fox station in Nashville has it in
Yeah.
their report. So it shouldn't have to be something that anyone has to
But
dig
you
out of an
see,
actual
you
report.
had, you
Let's
had to do
see.
some digging. Oh yeah, you had to do some digging to find that. See?
Well, I just had to revise my Google terms.
Yeah.
But let's see. Clark County Sheriff provided the newest update. 45 people. Lombardo stating it is possible the death on the topic of fuel tanks located at the airport. Lombardo says, "Oh, it is believed that fuel tanks were fired on with intent." So
Hmm.
apparently there was a previous update to this where they mentioned the fuel tanks because they're talking now like we already know about them.
Right. Well, in order to hit those tanks, though, he had to shoot out of the other side of the other side of the room. So,
Yeah, well
in other
maybe
words,
so, but at least
yeah,
okay, here's another Fox story. Las Vegas gunman targeted aviation fuel tanks. So let's see. Maybe
yeah.
this will have some facts.
But this is all we start
Oh,
getting
so
into
it's the
the.
Review Journal. It's the Las Vegas newspaper itself.
Mhm.
Reported that
Yeah.
two holes were found in one of the two fuel tanks. One of the bullets penetrated tank but did not cause an explosion. Um, the FBI agents inspected the tanks and considered the bullet's trajectory from
Hmm.
when he fired on the casino. So the Fox News could not immediately confirm the report, but the paper
Yeah.
reported.
Some of that's obviously an article from the
Yeah,
early
so
reporting.
the Las Vegas newspaper itself is the one that originally, it looks like, mentioned the two bullet holes.
Hmm. But to hit those, he had shattered the glass facing the airport, and then he had shattered the other set of windows facing those concert goers. So there you go. So you have two possible motives there, or maybe something else. Who knows?
So
But
the only reason to bring in the airport thing is because it connects him to the Area 51 thing as a possible motive.
yeah, and he had worked there as some kind of a. He was like a in management, some kind of management role prior.
Ah,
So, anyways, interesting. It's an interesting, and that's not out of the norm that people that live around that area would work in a place like that because you're these are people that live in Vegas. They would hop a flight to get out there to the site. There's like Nevada test sites out there. There's a lot of stuff out there where government owns. Is it the U.S. government owns like a third of the state of Nevada, as it is. So you got Nellis Air Force Base and, like I say, the Nevada Test Site and Yucca Flat Mountain and all that stuff. A lot of research and development stuff out in Nevada with the Air Force and the military and defense and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Drone base, the Tonopah Test Range, things of that sort.
Does that make people suspicious?
That's.
I remember
I
Art
don't
Bell
know.
used to do his show outside of Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that I think it just intrigues people.
It reminds me of in 2001 when the big whatever the thing is called, that rectangle thing, and the monkeys
Oh, the
stuck in the
Aurora?
air.
Is it the Aurora, the top secret supposed aircraft, that spacecraft that flies around the world in like less than a day
No,
or something?
at the very beginning of the movie where they have that
Oh,
black
Independence Day?
2001 A Space Odyssey.
Oh, yeah, space, right. 2000, right. I know
And the
exactly what you mean.
monkeys, they have that alien artifact or whatever. The monkeys are dancing. That's what this
Yeah,
stuff reminds me of. It's an event that happened, and then people treat it like it's this mysterious object, and then they start trying to figure out what it is.
yeah.
It takes on some significance beyond just a historical event.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up. Somebody said to me recently, they said, well, so you believe in aliens? And I said, well, I don't know. I mean, if it is just us, it seems like an awful waste of space, don't it?
Um, I mean, no, I don't think so.
We got all these.
Like I think the things that humans, if we focus on our human life as a human species and don't try to go beyond it and just limit ourselves to our existence here on Earth, I think that is amazing enough without requiring any other. There could be no other person in the entire multiverse, and that would still be amazing and miraculous and plenty for me to appreciate about life.
Well, I would concur with you on that. But I follow a little bit of space stuff too, and stories and articles and things NASA's up to, or SpaceX. And you think about the vastness of outer space and the fact that we've identified tens of thousands of planets already that are out there beyond our reach. It's amazing. But remember Star Trek when they predicted all the technology of today, and that was in the '60s. So it's amazing. Very, amazing minds to figure that all out. But I don't know. I mean, I would say the Google, the Apple Watch or the Google one is the closest to like a communicator on Star Trek.
Oh yeah,
That kind of thing. So
yeah.
I
And
don't
they
know.
have
I'm just
the
spitballing.
Bluetooth headphones now too, like the little transponder that she wore.
Yeah, that's it.
But
Right.
all of that is the human imagination. It's humans saying, like, given what we know about our world in 1960, what can we imagine the world will look like? And I think humans are just that awesome at imagining things.
I think so too. I think we underestimate the power of the human mind a lot. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I sit and wonder what's life going to be like in 100 years from now. You know what I mean?
I don't
Or
think we can even imagine it because there's going to be technologies that we can't even conceive that's going to change the entire
yeah, I mean, talk
like
about a war.
world landscape that we live in, the entire environment that we live in.
Yeah,
AI, quantum computing, like our world, we're like I don't know, the Middle Ages right now or Victorian England compared to the world of today. Like it's going to be so beyond our imagination.
I think so too. And it just it's baffles my mind, imagination, run wild. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think life's going to be much the same as today. I think like cellular phones will all be satellite controlled, guided. I can foresee that.
You think we're going to have
Um,
phone like actual things we hold in our hands?
yeah, I think so. Still, I think it will be a lot different, but it's going to be like satellite controlled. I think, and then whatever it is that we're going to use to communicate like that. And I think that, maybe we'll have, hey, we got hoverboards sort of now, but of course the batteries were catching, the lithium batteries are overheating and catching a fire when they first came out with them, but, trial and error. But I don't know. I think life will be much about the same as is now. But like you just said, our technology is going to be hyper advanced. And that could be a dangerous thing, too, especially if you talk now. You could get into a whole debate about artificial intelligence, too, and how that's good, bad, and ugly.
Yeah.
How it can manipulate
we
us.
Have before, too.
Yeah, I know you guys, we have here. I don't know. It's amazing to me. We both kind of grew up with analog technology and none of this stuff.
That was amazing. The VCR was fucking amazing. You didn't
Wasn't
have to
it?
go to the cinema to watch a movie anymore. That was
I know,
amazing.
wasn't that cool? Did you ever get to use a Betamax?
I didn't, but we had already, the VCR had already won that war by the time we got it.
Yeah, the Atari. Did you ever play the Atari?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I was in
Yep.
We definitely had the Atari and the Nintendo.
My favorite game still to this day is Bubble Bobble and Donkey Kong.
Oh, I remember Donkey Kong because it only had 2 levels, and then when you beat the second level, it just took you right back to the first level. And so you worked so hard to beat that second level, thinking you were going to get something more after that, and you didn't. So it was such a letdown after the first 2 levels.
Well, yeah, even a lot of the Nintendo games that you would beat, that it would have a really cheesy ending, And who could ever beat Tetris, right?
Oh, I never even tried to play that game.
Oh, man. And just like when I defeated Legends of Zelda on NES, I'm like, is this it? It's just like Super Mario Bros. It just has a really cheesy ending, and then it's like a minute
Adventure
long.
was the same way.
Yeah, and you worked so hard to beat
Jones, but they were still fun. I still played them over and over and over.
I know, we kept going back for more, right?
Yeah, because there's nothing else. That's all there was.
That's it, man.
It's that, or read a book, or play outside.
Yeah, we actually, that's another finer point. We grew up with what's called actual reality, not virtual.
Right. That's a very good point. I think Gen X was the last generation to grow up in actual reality.
I agree.
And we had semi-virtual because we had TV, radio, stuff like that, but it didn't dominate real reality. It kind of supplemented it.
Radar scope hardware. Oh, that's interesting to know. It's. I think about this. Yeah, it's just about all this. It's like we got from where we were, because I'm at what's called a Zennial with an X, I guess, like in between Gen X and Y, or like the millennials. So I'm 42.
So like early 80s?
Or 40. Yeah. That's me. So I know you're a little older than me. But we both grew up with the same kind of stuff. Passing notes in the class, surviving, drinking water out of the garden hose, right?
Those are all like generational markers now? Wow.
They are. Using a rotary phone, a payphone.
You were the first cohort to experience adolescence in a post 9/11 world. So you were born before 9/11, but you came of age after 9/11, and that's what
I was already like 19.
They call you a micro generation.
Yeah, I was already like 19 when that hit, but it's the gen after me, not so much the Gen Y. But I used to sit there and knock Gen Y, and then Gen Z came along. You know what I mean? Sort of outdid them all.
So
right?
you had your own version of millennials.
Pretty much. I was at like a Zennial, that pocket between Gen X and Y.
It says they're less likely than Generation Z to use digital means to connect with a romantic partner. They're considered socially and emotionally intelligent. That's a marker too. Like the Generation Z is not. This is the last socially and emotionally intelligent generation. Oh God!
Isn't that something? So now here's another one to throw at you. Look at YouTube. When it first started in 2005, the first YouTube video was actually in 2004, I think, and then it was lost. They lost it in data, and they could never recover it. But this whole platform was designed so that you could romantically connect with people on video.
Right. It was originally going to be a dating thing. Like,
Yes,
yeah, I
exactly,
remember that.
right. So, and then everyone
And then it
started to
became
use
a
it
way to
for
look at Janet Jackson's boob.
true that. And what we're doing right now is never what it was intended for. Doing panels, right? It never. It's because we're using these third party apps so we can
Yeah.
tap into it and do what we're doing right now. But because I remember when it first came out and some of the earlier videos, how to do it videos and grainy videos of people on
Right, because
vacation and
YouTube itself doesn't have a way to bring on guests. You have to have some kind
no,
of third party way
yeah,
to do that.
yeah, no, you would, and I'm surprised since Hoppin sold Bending Spoons now owns StreamYard, and it used to belong to Hoppin,
I thought
and
it
they
was
sold it.
WeWork.
What's that?
I thought it was WeWork. Just bought
I
them.
think it's Bending Spoons. It might be part of the same thing.
Oh, Bending Spoons might be part of WeWork.
Yeah, I think it is. So it's and of course they changed it around, and they only got the two. They got the core plan and like the pro plan or something. Raised the prices, and then they gave us 1080 HD streaming instead of 720, stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting, and they gave us more free. If you have the free version like I do, they give you like more stock color backgrounds and things. Not as elaborate as what you got going on here with your own custom one, but you know what I mean.
Well, maybe it is. Who the hell bought StreamYard?
Should be
I
Bending
thought it.
Spoons.
Oh, Bending Spoons. Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
They acquired Meetup.
Yep.
Oh, so Bending Spoons also. That's what confused me. WeWork owned Meetup. And so someone said it's the company that has Meetup, and I assumed that was WeWork, but Bending Spoons actually bought Meetup from WeWork as well as StreamYard. So now
That's
Bending
it.
Spoons owns both. It's not WeWork. That actually makes me feel better
It's
because
a
I can't stand WeWork.
it's a super merger.
And it's an
So
Italian company.
it is. Yes, it is.
Italian
And
tech company based in Milan. They now own StreamYard.
yeah. So you
Maybe we'll get the Italian discount with all these Italians that hang out here.
you would hope so, right? But I'm telling you, they haven't fixed a lot of the glitches yet, like the disappearing avatar act.
I wish they do something about these like get a troll filter. Because
But
Evernote has where you can talk to the trolls before they come on
right,
stage.
a troll filter, right?
Even something like that would help.
Well, they keep the world going round. I don't care. I don't mind them in my chats at all. I don't really bother. They don't bother me. I don't really bother
They
them.
bother me because they porn bomb me and they disrupt my show.
That's yeah.
And
That's
I'm
the ones
trying to
that
do something serious here beyond just panelverse shit. So I gotta make sure that I can contain that.
right. Yeah, that's the ones that get up on the panel and cause mayhem rather than just hanging out in the chat innocently, like having fun. But if they're not doxing and they're not, you know what I mean, they're not like bullying people. But
Well,
yeah,
mind bully. That's That's one reason they get blocked, and then they try to come and troll after that.
yes, I know it happens to me all the time too. But I don't know, man. We'll have to see what they do, where this takes us next, what they're going to do with this. But yeah, I was hoping that they would correct some of these glitches, and then there's audio glitches. The audio is
Or someone's gonna just come up with a competing service.
yeah. There's Evmux. I saw you tried it once or twice.
Yeah, I did. There's things I liked about it and things I didn't. The main thing is they limit you to 6 hours, and I do way more than 6 hours streaming.
Oh, is that even the paid version that does that?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I knew it cut you off at 2 hours with the free one. I didn't know it's slow. But you know
Like
what? That
six at
might
a time, so you could restart the stream, but you have to do it every 6 hours. Like you don't get the
yeah.
12-hour stream that StreamYard gives you.
The reason they might cut it off at 6 hours is 6 hours is the cutoff where you can use the what do you call it, the free editor on YouTube if you need to edit your video. Maybe
I've edited beyond
have you?
6 hours. Uh-huh.
Because I know after
Yeah, I've had to
is
clip
it
things off the end of streams before.
Yeah, because it's like after 13 hours, it cuts. You'll
12 on StreamYard. It's 11:59, and then it stops archiving it.
yeah, that's right. So YouTube will stop
Yeah.
archiving at that point.
So
So
you can keep streaming, but it won't capture any of it. That's why most
yeah,
people
yeah,
restart the stream after 11:59.
right. I mean, I was live last night with uh, that chaotic panel that went on for about 5 hours, and I finally
Are
just
you
cut it
serious?
off.
The
But
one I dropped in on?
yeah,
Oh
that
my
chaotic.
god,
Let's
I
see,
can't
you
imagine
had
5 hours of that.
in it the worst possible. It's not your fault. It's just we had a couple of trolls on there from another community, and they were wreaking havoc. I should have just dropped all of them so you could talk to the other party, but it is what it is. But yeah, my panels often get chaotic like that if I drop the link,
Mhm.
because you get all these people that like to fight. They're right now. They're on a channel called an Arctic Chick. They're the same ones that were on my panel that you saw are over there now, and they're battling it out. And they've been battling for hours.
How old are these people, and how many children do they have?
That is a very good question, and I it's almost like how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Let's find out.
My God, is
One,
this like the next generation of adults? This is what they do?
this is like Adult Swim, right? So
Fuck.
I got on that panel briefly, and I started like, how come everybody wants to get on these panels and just sit here and fight to no avail with no real purpose or no real
Don't
mission
know.
in
I
mind?
think our conversations are so much better. Like I would want to have the conversations we talk about on here more than I would want to fight. Even if it's about movies or going to the mall or whatever, that's so
Yeah.
much more like I feel so much more healthy and connected to people after that than after this drama stuff.
Yes. Well, if I do a panel again, and you want to come on, I'll do like the invite only link, so that, or I'll just not let people get up that want to sit there and troll and derail it. But
Once my community gets big enough, hopefully I won't even need the trolls anymore. I'll have enough ordinary normal guests that I can keep rotating out of
yeah, you
different
will, and your
panels.
Discord servers as a key. You should share it out, and then because it's connected to your channel and
Which
stuff,
one?
and then as that grows, you can share stuff going on. I see you sharing the links and stuff in your server. It's good idea. The two are kind of entwined. And another
Yeah,
thing you could, hmm?
that's the extension of this community. Like part of the
Hmm?
community's here, but it carries over into Discord from here.
Yeah, a lot of them do. And one other thing you could think of doing is multi streaming across like Rumble as you stream on
I thought
YouTube.
about that, but and I looked into some of the different options, and I may still do that in the future, but it didn't motivate me to do it anytime soon.
Oh, okay. Another
YouTube, I think,
thing,
still is the best, has
yeah,
the reach right now.
right, right. Another thing you could do is, do you make a lot of video shorts?
No,
Oh, because the video shorts are a great way to get because there's a
I
different
know that's what
algorithm
everybody
for it.
keeps telling me, and every time I go to do it, I just don't. I'm not into making shorts, and so
Yeah,
I would need to like pay somebody to do that, or just not
yeah,
worry about it.
I
But
get you.
really, I'm like all the growth I've had so far has been mainly on my content alone, which is that's the part I'm best at. So my plan is to just keep putting out good streams and just letting the growth. I don't. Now that I'm monetized, I'm not. I don't necessarily need the growth to go at warp speed from this point
Hmm.
out. So I can have the luxury of just growing gradually, organically with the type of audience I'm looking for.
No, I
It was
get you.
just getting to
And
that 500 that I really needed all
yeah,
that marketing.
and Rome wasn't built in one day, so it takes time. I know,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you, like nerd out there, talking about golden eyes. But I was able to grow my channel from 10 subs to 840 in like just about a year and a half. And unfortunately, most of it was just from trolls that were subbing to my channel. A lot of it, not all of it, but it's because doing panels, people, like coming after me. They like to target me and troll, things like that. And the drama, it sells.
Yeah.
And that's a
Well,
lot of that on my channel. It's not all, like I say, I've got a lot of good people. There's about 5 or 6 different communities that are on my channel. So, I don't know. One of those things. So, anyways.
all right. Well, I think I'm gonna call it a night.
All right, yeah. I don't want to keep you all night. But I appreciate you letting me up, sir. It was a great conversation. I wasn't going to say debate. We didn't really debate about it too much.
We
Really
just
anything.
talked. Yeah, it was.
Just
I'd say
talking, hanging
yes. It
out.
was a conversation. That's
And yeah, and you learn some new tidbits of useless information you'll probably never need to know.
Yeah, I did. I'm learning all kinds of
Right?
stuff from much. I didn't even know about Minecraft. I mean, I knew,
Oh,
I knew
Minecraft.
there was a thing called Minecraft. I had no idea what it was.
Oh, yes. That's been around for a long, long time. And
Oh,
a
thanks,
friend of
Jeremy.
mine,
A&M. Well, who you talking to? Me or A? Like scheduling a 1
oh,
a.m.
let me
live?
see.
Yes, I do need merch. We're
Oh,
working on
that's for
some
me.
antlers and
That's for me. That's
other
me.
stuff.
I got to go live in a minute. But I have a friend who spent months building a little city in a nuclear power plant, and he deliberately sabotaged his own game, and he made the thing melt down and explode in the game.
From Minecraft?
Minecraft. The guy's a computer software engineer.
Hmm.
So he sat there and like, why did you? He says, just for the simple. He says, back to say I've done it. And of course he recorded it all, and I'm like, you spent countless hours building this city from scratch in this game. You built a nuclear power plant, and you deliberately made the thing blow. Crazy. So, but I guess, why not? I guess, why not? It's all good fun, right?
You going live now?
Yeah, I am in just a minute. You want to come? You can come over if you want.
I might watch it for a little while. I'll
Oh,
wind
okay.
down.
I'm gonna do my best to not have another Hellstorm panel.
Well, we'll see what happens. I put your link so you could head over
Oh,
to Abe's if you want and watch him there. He's about to fire up a panel. And
thanks.
Mel is also streaming, but it looks like they're just watching a video. So I don't know what's going on
Oh,
there. But
okay.
anyway, those are 2 things happening that I could send you
Yeah.
to. Abe raid, yes, do an Abe raid. Pink. Oh my God, gay antlers. We did.
A LA Spike and I go. He. That's my boy right there. That's my guy.
Oh, Spike.
All right, that's cool. Well,
All
hey,
right.
Shift
Well, we'll
Happens. How
see
you
you
doing?
over on your channel.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for letting me up, and I appreciate you sharing me out again.
Yeah, no
Very
problem.
good, sir. Very good.
See you there.
All right. Hey, take care.
Take care, Abe. Hey,
I'm out.
Shift. What's up? Um, Abe is starting up a stream, so I'm gonna wind this one down, and then everybody's gonna go over to Abe's. So you're just in time to say hi, bye. Good to see you again. All right. Take care, everybody. I'll be here when I be here. It'll be sometime tomorrow. I may not rush. All right. Take care, everybody. Go to hell. Go to Abe's. Go watch his show. That's where I'm headed. Take care.